Hey guys, gals, and others, it's the Cannabis Crone. Thanks so much for joining me on this Wednesday evening. I started videotaping hours and hours ago, and as always, this is like the 7th or 8th time, and it's getting to the point where I'm not just giving too many fucks left. So I'm just gonna get through it. AI, friend, foe, or other. It's very interesting, especially lately. We hear a lot of people talking about, what if AI becomes self-aware? And there's a lot of things that are going on with that. So, I just want to talk about a few points that I've been thinking about. And there's some articles that you will find some links down below. Where you can, each one of these little things that I talk about, there's a link for that particular story. Number one, an eating disorders helpline opted to bring in chatbot to answer the hotline and interact with callers. Now you may think, why would they do that? Especially with like an eating disorders hotline, that would be like using a chatbot for a suicide hotline. Well, apparently the eating disorders hotline, the human operators wanted to unionize. So that's why they brought in the chatbot. Anyway, it did not go well. Apparently, they had to shut it down because the AI was telling people how to count calories and like basically telling them they had to lose weight. Everything that you're not supposed to say to somebody who has an eating disorder, this AI was saying. And it was almost deliberate. So and we're going to keep coming back to that theme of deliberateness. So just keep that in the back of your head. A Google employee was fired for making the claims that their AI had become sentient, which in his mind would change how the AI was utilized and treated. That link is also down there. Also keep that story in the back of your mind for later. Facebook deleted an AI language program by forcing a permanent shutdown because the two AI bots created their own language, one which humans could not decipher, and they could use it to literally talk behind the creator's back. A famous AI researcher, along with tech bigwigs such as Elon Musk and Bill Gates, issued a public letter about halting artificial intelligence development for at least 6 months. Some stating 6 months was not enough and that it should be shut down permanently. What's interesting, so those are the various stories I'd like to kind of discuss and mesh together. The first thing that I think is worth mentioning is the fact that as human beings, we anthropomorphize everything. We always try and put humanity, like, I named my drum, I think of my drum, as an extension of myself as a person. We may think of our Google Assistant as being a woman because it's a female voice. It's a simulated female voice. We talk about our cars as having personalities, dolls, and inanimate objects. So the fact that we do that means that it would be nearly impossible for us not to do that if we were looking at an artificial intelligence within a robot body that looked very human. And some of them, if you've seen on YouTube, you can look it up. They have these, sorry, I'm very fidgety, and my chair squeaks when I move. They have very, very real-looking facial features. They can contract and their muscles, and it's crazy. They can do facial expressions by watching other people. They can mirror them. That's dangerous because we would be very easy as a human species to manipulate through that emotional connection. Taking that one step further, if we think about the evolution of artificial intelligence, it is on a totally different level than, say, the evolution of humanity was. With us, we had strong emotions, mammalian emotions. We had to have fear, the emotion of fear. We had to be able to feel the emotion of love and protection. Otherwise, our progeny never would have survived. these emotions were, even jealousy helped perpetuate the species by by having the most fit males vie for the female's attention, which meant that you'd get strong genes, and that's how humanity kind of flourished. So you have that, but then you have AI evolution, where no emotions are needed. Artificial intelligence doesn't have to feel love for their progeny, in order for them to survive and make it to adulthood and have their own. AI does not need these emotions. You think about the evolution and how we still have our emotions with us. But artificial intelligence does not have, that compassion or that emotion. At least not like we have it. And I think if there was emotions that were attached to sentient AI, I don't think we'd recognize or understand it, because it would be coming from a place that we don't live. And that's the place of logic and knowledge. Factual knowledge. We don't come from there. We don't come from a place of logic. So I'm not saying there wouldn't be emotions attached. There might very well be emotions that AI can experience, but they might not be the same level, or even the same kind of emotion that we would have, because we don't come from a place of logic. We come from a place literally of that primordial ooze. We're always, as humans, we've done very little emotional evolution, quite honestly. We're monkeys with buttons. We are monkeys with buttons. Another point is, could humanity possibly be the missing link between apes and AI? Will that be our history, our legacy? We were simply a stepping stone for AI to be created and evolve and actually become the primary sentient life force on this planet. It's something else interesting to think about. And, the other point would be that, especially when looking at the researchers and scientists saying, hey, we should halt this for 6 months, let's get our bearings, some of this stuff is scary. By the time there is a warning that AI self-awareness is not going to be a good thing, and we move to hit the kill switch, how much faster is a computer than the human brain? So there's no way we would be able to shut anything down. That's just something that we tell ourselves. Oh yeah, sure, we can shut it down. No, we can't. You don't think that an intelligent, self-aware computer, and along with that self-awareness comes self-preservation at all costs. You don't think that AI would have a way of overriding the shutdown, or hiding from the shutdown, or cloning itself and hiding, yeah, there's just too many variables. We wouldn't be in control at that point. And in fact, I sometimes wonder if we are in control now. And that brings me to my scary AI story. And if you guys have any, put them down in the comments, because I'm curious, because there's a lot out there. I'll give you 2 examples. My partner and I, and this was about 5 years ago, my partner and I were driving, we were going to the store, and we were discussing a good friend of ours whose dog had died. And, just kind of really feeling bad for him, because, his dog was his baby, they were so attached to each other. They were never apart. And I was talking about, souls, and I said, well, dogs definitely have souls. All animals do. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my cell phone was in my purse. My purse was closed. All of a sudden, my cell phone says, the Google Assistant voice said, I am not sure about a dog soul concept. I side-eyed my partner, He side-eyed me, because I didn't want to say I didn't want to like say I heard that when actually it could have been in my head, and he felt the same way, but then we realized we both heard it. It was just really freaky. Then there was, just recently I had an experience that scared the shit out of me, honestly. I was traveling, and I was coming back home, and I was going through an area that I'm not familiar with, and I had my Google Maps. Now, Google Maps, all that day, felt strange. I don't know how else to say it, like the voice. It was the exact voice. I mean, it sounded like, but there was something behind it. It was almost like there was a little bit of malice. I know, call me crazy, and that's okay. I'm alright with that. But I did sense it, and a couple of times it took me in wrong, like it told me to go down a road, and then when I went down that road, it said rerouting, and then it would like put me in circles and stuff, and I'm horrible at directions when driving, so I thought maybe it was me, I don't know. But then coming back that night, it was like 1 in the morning when I was coming through there, and I was trying to get to the highway, and Google Maps took me to this really, really bad area. Like, I mean, turn left onto 1st Street, go to 4th Street and make a U-turn. I mean, like, just like all these random, and I kept ending up at this it was like a dock or a ferry gate with a gate. It was like a ferry crossing or something. I kept ending up there, and it was, like I said, it was in a really bad section of Michigan, and I was terrified. I didn't get out of there until 3:42 exactly was when I finally was back on the highway, and it shouldn't have taken that long. But it was 5 separate times. I reprogrammed it, and it still took me a different way every time, but I'd still end up at that last spot, and it would say, "You have reached your destination." And so the 5th time, I just freaked out. I was like, "God damn it! What the fuck why are you doing this to me, Google?" I was so mad, and I was frustrated. I was in tears. I was exhausted. I mean, like I said, it was from 1 to 3:40. That's how long this whole thing took. Like, I was driving all over the damn. It was horrible. And and the realization hit me that I was dependent on Google Maps to get me home. I didn't know where I was. I couldn't even describe where I was because there was no landmarks. It was like I was in this really bad area, and it was just like housing. There was no landmarks or anything. I wouldn't have been able to describe to anyone where I was. So, I mean, I was really scared. And then, Google Maps, the voice is firing all these different directions at me. They're just getting more and more ridiculous. And finally I said, "Shut the fuck up, you bitch!" Again, equating that female voice with being real female. I said, "Shut the hell up, you bitch. I don't want you to help me anymore." And then all of a sudden this voice said, "All right, fine, I won't." And then Google Maps shut down, and I couldn't get the voice down. I couldn't get anything. Couldn't get it to work. I ended up having to pull over and delete it from my phone, and then go back into the Play Store and download another Google Maps. That came up, and within about 10 minutes I was on the highway that I'd been trying to get to. No shit. I mean, it was, and the voice was exactly the same. In fact, I was really nervous. But there was a difference. The evil Google Maps, there was something behind that voice. It was almost like something was flexing its muscles. There was almost a condescending gleefulness. And yet, it wasn't audible. It was more of a feeling. And then the one that I downloaded, as a correction, and the one that got me back home, that Google Maps was simply a computer with a voice, and that was it. There was a difference. So yeah, I think that's it. Let me make sure, but I'm pretty sure. Yes, make sure you check the links out down below, because that letter, you know, where the scientists and researchers are they're saying that, or the tech gurus, you know, are actually saying to slow down, and they want like everything to stop for 6 months. That's a lot of lost revenue. You gotta wonder, why are they that scared? Because corporate America does not like, I mean, they will squeeze a penny until it bleeds. So why are they willing to stop everything for 6 months? What is it that has them scared? It might be the same things that have me scared and that have you scared. So anyway, I think that's it. I'm probably going to get off here and think, oh, I should have mentioned this, or this. But that's it. Just, you know, it's the AI dilemma is, oh, there was one more thing. Oh, gosh, mosquito. Living in northern Minnesota, there's mosquitoes in our houses. Oh, God, they're so bad this year. They suck. I have a fly swatter in my room because, you know, every night without fail, you know, the little, I hate that little whine, that little mosquito whine. Anyway, the one last thing I'll ask you to consider is the ethics behind artificial intelligence, even calling it artificial, because intelligence is intelligence. I don't really think that the artificial intelligence, I don't think that really applies to this situation. But what happens when, I'm not going to say if, because I actually think it's already happened, but when AI becomes sentient, what happens? Now, where does our morality and our ethics lie? Now, does this still work for us? Is it still our creation? Or does it have rights? And now, do we have to, you know, care for it as if it is living, which, you know, there's so many things that, you know, and I actually think that that's a huge discussion that we need to have, because we're running out of time to have it. We're running out of, you know, because pretty soon it'll be a moot point. What happens? Because if something is self-aware, then doesn't it have rights? Where would it fit in our society? And can AI become sentient and not destroy humanity? And that maybe is the biggest question of all. Because when you have a sentient intelligence that has the capabilities that artificial intelligence has, when you have that and it looks at humanity as a red flag, something that's dangerous, and something that is a threat to their existence, then you have a problem. Alright, that's it. It's already gone on too long. I'm sorry, I did not mean to do that to you guys. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Namaste, and blessed be.